Tinder, if you don't know, is a social media app or hookup app. I don't even know what to necessarily call it, but you swipe right. It's known for people having ungodly marital relations while outside the bounds of marriage, which, is probably not the most conservative thing to do. But Tinder themselves, are curtailing how they do their app, and not out of the goodness of their heart, by the way. This is market driven. It's turning out that Gen Z is looking for more meaningful relationships and therefore are using the hookup apps less, which is great news for me. Justine, can you speak to your, what is going on among your friends? Do you have kind of any anecdotal evidence of this that shows kind of, the Gen Z culture is more conservative, especially in this realm?
Part of it's because we've been sold on soullessness for so long. Our culture and our media has encouraged us to believe hookup culture and just random hookups are totally fine and it's liberating. But at the end of the day, it's not, because you become emotionally attached to people. And that's something that our big corporations just haven't been able to grasp onto. Finally, Tinder's looking at that. Tinder's afraid. They're noticing this changing in our culture. They're noticing that Gen Z, at the end of the day, we're reverting back to our human instincts, which say, yes, we need to make connections with people. You can't just have very personal, you can't have a sexual relationship with someone without having the relationship first. And it seems like Tinder is falling in line with that. They don't want to lose customers, so they're acquiescing it. And I think this is a very good move, because previously, unfortunately, I haven't ever seen a good story come out of Tinder. Maybe this time we will finally have one for once.
Yeah, and Tiffany, it does seem like it's not market driven. Like Tinder's not sorry, it is market driven. It's not Tinder's coming out of the goodness of their hearts. Think we need to adjust society this way. No, they have financial interests and people just aren't using it as much. I guess, what does that say about Gen Z? And do you also have hope for the future as I do, at least minimal glimmer here? At the very least.
I literally did an entire podcast episode on this, because dating apps, I think, are an atrocity to humanity. So what you're looking at, it's twofold, right? Yes, they are not some altruistic 501c3 out to do God's work. They are businesses who need to make money. And when they see that Gen Z is like, you know what, we're kind of sick of having casual, meaningless hookup sex. We actually are really lonely. They're the most isolated and most depressed and lonely generation we've ever had. And it's because they're digital natives who have been raised through screens, who often are incapable of understanding normal basic human interaction. These people are raised, and I think it comes down to this. It's virtue. It's a lack of virtue. It's a lack of courage. And it's a lack of, these young kids don't know how to, if they see a cute girl across the room, to pluck up the courage to walk across the room and introduce themselves. That is pure terror for a lot of them. And a lot of them, were in high school during COVID, or were in college during COVID. And so they were often ostracized and isolated even more to a greater degree. And so what you're seeing is, yes, hope, but also you look at now the rise of AI, the rise of these dating chatbots that you see a lot of, young men kind of gravitating toward. And I think we have real reason to be deeply concerned for the future of Gen Z, for the fact that we have a real population decline and all that goes with it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I hope they kind of keep the pace. I would love to see a culture that gets back to, I'm going to kill an elk and bring it to their father as a gift in hopes of courting their daughter. That's what I want to see going forward in our culture.